Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you might streaming from today. This is Dr. Joan T. Randall, and I am here with another episode of Author Spotlight. And I am so excited about my guest that I have that will be a part of our show today. But before I say that, let me just give you an introduction before I bring my guest out, I should say. Let me just give you an introduction of myself. I'm Joan T. Randall. I'm the founder of Victorious Youth Press. We help people write and publish their best-selling books so that they can monetize their impact and their influence, use their book as leverage to build multiple streams of income and leave a legacy. That is who we are. That is what we love to do. And we also love to interview authors, debut authors, first-time authors, new authors, or experienced authors on this platform so you can hear their story and see what drives them to write their book. Remember, a book is a business. It's the first rung on any business ladder, and everybody has a story and should write their story. And so we are excited to have our guest here. Caroline is our guest for this afternoon, and I'm going to bring her to the stage and we're going to have this conversation with her. Caroline, welcome, welcome, welcome to the stage,
Thank you so
Victorious
much.
Press Author Spotlight. And this is about you today. It truly is about you. I am so excited to have you here. I think backstage I was telling you that you look like a baby. A beautiful baby face, but you are one powerful young woman. And we're so excited that you're a part of the Victorious You Press family. So, for those of you that are joining, welcome, welcome. We are happy you're here. Hello, Carlene. So nice to see you, my love. So nice to see you. So, Caroline, I'm going to ask you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you do currently.
Yeah. First of all, it's kind of surreal to be on here. Thank you so much. Author Spotlight. I've never even pictured myself as an author, and now here we are. So this is so cool. I'm having a great time. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a 7-year-old son, and I have been big into philanthropy. That has been my career for almost a decade now. That's where I've worked all over in different nonprofits. And now I have a consulting company that helps fundraise for nonprofits and helps people start small businesses and nonprofits as well.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah,
That
it's
is like absolutely amazing. I just got flashback of myself and I'm like, what was I doing at 20 something? I don't even know if I was anywhere like helping people build business, right? I don't think I was even mature enough to even do that stuff, but we're so excited. That's such a noble thing to do to help people build businesses. You know what I mean? At your age. And we're not going to tell anybody your age, but it's very admirable and I applaud you as a young woman doing this. So tell us, how did you get connected to Victorious You Press?
so I finished writing a book and I decided I wanted it to be professionally published, and I didn't know any publishers. So I asked every single meeting I had, to everyone who I met with within those 2 months. So sorry. I asked every single person I knew if they knew any publishers. And finally, a woman worked with you in a different networking group. And so she was able to connect me to you. We got on a call, and honestly, that's all it was, one call. And I knew this was going to be a perfect partnership.
Wow, I love it. I'm going to share this broadcast to my group so that the people in my Books to Business and Beyond group can watch this because that's a book group and we really want to have it in our book group. So let me just tap here and just say join us live and share to the group. All right, there we go. Perfect. And so tell me how it was. I know this is not a part of our question, but I know you can answer it. How did it feel the first time you and I talk about your book and what you wanted to write?
Yeah, well, it was like this whole process has been really surreal, but
Yeah.
that meeting especially because I never really intended to write a book. I was just writing, and then I ended a book and I wrote it. And so being able to talk to you about what the process even looked like, I had no idea what I was walking into. And just, I got so excited and it got so real for me. And even now it's still getting more and more real. I don't know if it's hit me yet, but it was amazing. Yeah.
You know when it's going to hit you? When you get on that bestsellers list. Your
Yes.
head is going to feel like you're like, oh my God, you're going to see all these, bestseller, hot new release, and you're just going to lose your mind.
Crazy.
You're going to lose your mind. Tell us, although we're not going to go a lot into the book per se, because we want to find out more about you and you as a writer and all the great things that you're doing, but just to whet the appetite, because your book is launching soon, what is the title of your book and the inspiration behind it?
So the title of my book is called Finding You Beyond Broken Pieces. So the book itself is inspired by my own life events, but I chose this title, Finding You, because the book is about a woman who's experienced a traumatic event and kind of growing and healing and what that process is afterwards. So finding yourself again, whether it's an old version of you or a new version of you.
Wow. And I know the book intimately, right? Because I'm behind the scenes, right? So
Right.
I have an advantage of the book, and it is so powerful. It is so needed. And first of all, there's so many people that have experienced similar things in their lives that are afraid to talk about it. Right. So that's one thing. And then there's people who have experienced it that have gone to their graves and never spoke about it.
Yeah.
And then we may even have people that are going through some of those same experiences right now as we speak. So the book is going to be able to, is kind of like almost a Bible for people who have experienced traumatic events, right? Because through your own pain and suffering, you find the will to move, the will to speak, the will to talk, the will to, shed a light on that experience. And I'm sure that, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, it's scary. Actually super scary. Because this book is very vulnerable to me.
Yeah.
And it's so raw, but I also think it's really important because I thought I was super strong if I just held it in and kept it quiet and told no one. But through speaking out and not only talking to professionals, but friends and peers, I found that that's really where my strength lied. And the more I spoke about it, I realized I wasn't alone, and people around me also realized they weren't alone and felt comfortable speaking. And so that experience made me realize how important it was to speak up and how I wanted to share this story so that when people can see the main character and relate to her experiences and her messy, raw journey of healing, they won't also feel so alone.
Yeah. Wow. That's taking your power back. Right?
Yeah.
It's like literally taking your power back and standing on the power. I love it. It reminds me a little bit of my own journey of domestic violence and homelessness and how ashamed I felt at first. But the minute I told the story, I took control of the power of the
Yeah.
story. You know what I mean? So I applaud you for even deciding to put this in a book, because it's so needed for such a time as this. As you think about the story, Caroline, and about all the things that you write, as you said about this experience, this woman, the main character in the book has, what are some of the key themes and messages from this book woven into the story?
Yeah. Well, one, kind of like we already said, is speaking out and starting to share. Share with people around you, let people in, let people know what's going on with you, because no one can help if they don't know. And then also that growth and healing and becoming a new version of yourself is okay. And it's not so scary. And every time you see your personality shift and who you are shift, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that was something that was so concerning and terrifying for me as I was healing and growing. I would see myself change, and it was like disheartening and discouraging. Like, oh no, I just want to be the old version. I want to be who I was before. But learning to love the new version of myself and find peace in that, and that being okay, I really highlighted throughout the book.
Yeah, that's powerful. Who would you say this book is for?
Um, it's definitely got some heavy topics in it, so I would say 18 plus.
Mhm.
But I think it's for anyone that's experienced something traumatic, for anyone that has grown, or had to shift, or anyone that it currently is. Um, uh, I do think it leans more towards women, but it's definitely for anybody.
Yeah. Because, if you think about it, men sometimes experience some traumatic things too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has an audience, whether it's the big audience or your niche audience or a specific ideal audience who the book is for. It definitely has an audience, all across the board that this would resonate with.
Yeah.
What inspiration can the reader expect to get from this book?
Uh, that's a great question. I hope that when people read this book and they hear about the main character's story, and the experiences she gets to get, even through healing, there's still joy, there's still fun that happens in the book, and new relationships form. I hope that they're inspired to share their own stories and to speak out, and to whether it's publicly or just in their intimate circle, to not take their traumas to the grave, because you don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah. As when you met with me, right, and you realize, all right, this is going to be a real thing, it's coming. Like,
Yeah.
tell me the emotion. Tell me, how did you feel about that whole process, knowing that the world is going to see the inside?
Yeah, I feel a little bit like I'm in a glass box right now. And I'm not one that's, has been big on social media, and I'm starting that now. So there's a lot of things where I have been out of my comfort zone. But the best things have happened in my life when I'm out of my comfort zone. So I keep just trying to tell myself to just close my eyes and just take one more step, and just take one more step, and keep pushing forward. And when I'm scared, be scared, and still do it. Just do it scared.
Yeah.
And it's getting easier. And something that has already happened even before this book has launched, as people have started reading it or I've shared about it, they've been sharing their own stories with me, and felt comfortable to tell me. And that has been just life-changing, and the whole reason that I'm doing this, and to see that impact already, makes doing it scared not that bad.
So, have you shared like some of your script already with people who may have read it and give you some feedback?
Yes, I have.
That's amazing. You can send that to us and we can put that in the book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can
Oh, I didn't
actually,
know that.
yeah, we can actually put, if you send the raw manuscript out and you get feedback as, oh my God, this is amazing. This is such a great book. We can literally put some of those feedback at the front of the book
Oh my
before,
goodness.
in publishing. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. When I was writing, I wanted to make sure, since a lot of it was like from my own experiences, and like my
Yeah.
life is in my head, I wanted
Yeah.
to make sure it made sense when I wrote it out. So I had about a dozen people read it and make sure that like it flowed together. And yes, I did get a lot of really positive
Yeah.
feedback. I'm really
If
grateful
they
for.
wrote those, send those to
Yeah.
us.
Okay,
Yeah.
I totally will. Ah,
So we
that's so
can put it
cool.
in the book. Yeah, yeah. So right, and so as you open the book, you go through like the title pages and the copyright pages, and we can say what people are saying, and
Ah,
we can just put those in. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
learning things every day through this process. I love it.
I know you are learning a whole bunch of stuff. Oh my God. So I'm gonna. So this is really way off guard. So most often when people write a book, we make sure we talk about a cover design. Did you struggle with coming up with what you wanted the cover of your book to be, or how did that process? Because we did not. We dropped the ball. We dropped the ball in terms of the cover. First of all, I was reading the cover thing, and you didn't specify any specific color. So I'm like, you gave us color, but every color has a hex code
Right.
because there's so many colors in
There
the
are.
in the
Yeah.
charts of
So
colors,
many.
right? There's 100 blues, 100 greens, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So tell me about that experience. Even
Yeah.
with,
Well,
Mhm.
like you said at the beginning, I had a very rough, vague idea, and I'm grateful for working with you. And this is another reason why I wanted to work with a professional company, because graphic design is not my strength. So
Right.
I was really wanted to, put it in your team's hands and see what
Yeah.
they would come up with first. And getting to meet and chat with the woman that's designing the cover,
Yeah.
that really helped me figure out what I wanted, because she would show me something. I'd be like, I know that's not it. And then I
Right.
would see something. I'd be like, okay, well, I think I like this color much better. And I want this shifting a little bit. And so the idea, I mean, I think the book cover is similar to what the title is. There's
Yeah.
on words there. And so that's kind of a little bit of an idea that I had, but
Yeah.
seeing it come to life has helped me really determine what I want and what my vision is.
Yeah. And that's what I love about us, Victoria's Secret Press, as a boutique publisher, because the average publisher, you would not have a graphic designer talking with you on a Zoom call. Like, they don't provide that. You would never have the editor meeting with you to discuss the finalization of the, right?
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes when you have these smaller boutique publishing, you get that one-on-one kind of feeling, and that makes it like, hey, I'm the only person that they're publishing this book for at this time, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we wanted it to be that personal,
Yeah.
to you. um I wanted to share this with you, but I had a conversation with a friend last night, young man around your age, and one of the things we were talking about was just about how he feels about himself because of some things that he had experienced. And
Mhm.
my question to him was like, do you love yourself? And he says, I don't know. He said, I
Mhm.
don't even know who I am because I feel lost.
Yeah.
When you hear something like that, what comes to mind, Caroline? What comes to mind when you hear that?
Oh, well, gosh, how relatable is that?
Yeah.
I know for me, and I know so many other people, I'm sure, have felt that exact way. And that's so scary, because how do you grow and how do you heal and do things that bring you joy when you don't even know what brings you joy? You don't even know how to move forward. And so that question of, I want to get from A to B, but I don't even know how to get there.
Right.
That's really, really challenging. And I think really relatable, as we all, especially people my age, but I think throughout life, we're all growing and changing all the time, no matter what.
Yeah.
And relearning ourselves and reloving ourselves at every different stage and version that we are. And so it's hard, but I applaud him for sharing
Yeah.
that with you, because the more we say those really raw, harsh truths,
Yeah.
the more we aren't alone in them and they don't stay in us. We're speaking them out of our body.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, you're going to give even adults, even people older than you. I mean, we're all adults, but you're going to give even people that are older than you the ability to share, because there's people that are in their mature ages, 50s and 60s, that has traumatic things that happen to them and never share it. So I truly believe, and I love the book, by the way. So even on our platform, we're going to really help you to get this out. We're going to help you to get it into some book awards so that you can apply for some awards. Your book is going to be launching not too far from now. There's some open book awards right now that's going on. So I'll send those to you. So and once you have the manuscript, you literally have the book. So
Right.
you can apply for book awards from now, right? For to go through the award process. And that's even amazing, because you're going to be a best-selling author. If you win a book award, you're an award-winning best-selling author. It changes the game.
Huge. Sounds so
Huge,
fancy.
huge. And talking about award-winning best-selling author, you are going to be doing some things based on your platform. So talk to me about the platform that you have that is truly near and dear to your heart, And as a result of that platform, you're getting ready to speak on a huge stage. Can you tell us about that?
I am. On February 22nd, I will be speaking at TEDx Mint Street. And this has been, oh, thank you so much. This has been a goal of mine since I was 14 years old. I told myself before I turned 30, I want to give a TED Talk. So the fact that it's 2 weeks away is crazy to me, and very surreal. A lot of surreal things happening in my life right now. But I am speaking on the power of relationships, specifically in philanthropy, but the power of connecting with humans and talking to humans, and how that can translate literally everywhere. It translates in my book. It translates with how we got connected. It translates in philanthropy as well. And I have seen time and time again how personal human relationships have changed the trajectory of my life, and how speaking to each other and connecting with each other makes such a difference. And so I'm so excited to get to be talking about that on the TED stage.
Whoa. How did that came about for you?
This is going to shock you, but relationships and networking. There are people that reached out to me actually that were on the board and the committee for this year's TEDx Mint Street, and reached out to me and told me to apply. I spent a lot of time trying to think about what I wanted to talk about, and applied and got through to audition, which is crazy.
Wow.
And then once I auditioned, I heard that I got it, and I've been working with the coach and the committee. The whole process has just been, they've been so helpful the entire time, really making sure that all of us that speak up there really shine.
That is amazing. You know that you can use that and build it into your business model to help people get ready for TED Talk.
Yeah, right. And I have been using this also to start speaking more. So I've joined speaking groups, and not only do I want to talk about relationships and philanthropy, and obviously like that's where my background is. I love nonprofits. I'm very passionate about them.
Yeah.
They've changed my life on the front end and the back end. But also with releasing this book, I want to be talking more about the book itself, but then my own experiences and shedding light on the topic. So I'm really jumping into the deep end speaking on the TED stage, but I feel like once I do that, I can speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. It's so amazing to me. It's so amazing to me. Now that you are on this, I feel like you're on this is momentum.
Yeah.
There is this wave of momentum that you are riding, right? And so whenever this huge momentum wave comes into play, you got to just ride it. So you're riding it with the book, you're riding it with the TED Talk. What is next? What do you want to see from that? Like, what is the big dream? What is the next thing?
Yeah. Well, thankfully I have a business and life coach, because I swear I could not survive without her. But my dream is to do things that I'm passionate about and always involve people. So I'm already working on another book, because it turns out I love writing so much.
Yes.
And speaking more and coaching more. I really want to give other people the support that I've had my entire career and life. So really using that momentum here, and my platform to help others with their dreams, their creativity. There are so many people that are just bonker smart and creative that have all these ideas, and I just want to help them see them through, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What makes you so passionate about what you do?
I think you can see it.
I can see it. That's why I asked that question.
Seeing other people win and seeing other people feel things from like my own experiences. If I can help in any way to have someone else get a win, like that's why I do anything. And yeah, just giving back what I've received. I've received so much from so many people. And the least I could do is try to support those around me as well.
Yeah. What is your son saying about all these things that mommy is doing?
He turns 7 actually the day that I give the TED Talk. So
Whoa.
I know, it's the 7th birthday. So his birthday party is the next day. He's incredibly patient is what he is. But he's also so casual because he's young. Like mommy has a book, that's normal. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is mommy's book. And he'd like tell people, and like in my head, I'm like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. And he's like, yeah, this is life. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So amazing. Um, if you ever, well, let me rephrase that question. Once this book hit the shelves and the people who need it buys it,
Mhm.
what would you hope that they would do, just based on some of the things that is in the book? What would you hope that they would use this book to do for themselves?
Um, I hope that one, they would take the pressure and weight off of themselves.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I highlight in the book is that when something happens and you're not your best, you have so much pressure to be there immediately, to be back and to be better. And healing this is my least favorite truth. It takes time and it's a process. And to give yourself the grace to go through that and to not be perfect and to not always be okay. And to not hold it all in, to find strength in your voice, because that is true strength, not to suffer in silence, but to speak and stand tall.
Let me just say this. You blow me away, by the way. Just like, you know what I mean? You are like this mature, 60 something year old in this young body. You know what I mean? Because it's rare that you find someone that is in your age group that loves nonprofit or loves philanthropy, right? More often they're trying to find their way, but you have found your way. And I'll tell you this, sometimes the experiences that we go through that are traumatic makes us wiser
Mhm.
faster, right? Because it's those lived and learned experiences, is the lived experiences that really shape us, right? And then what are the lessons from those experiences, bad or good? And how do you use them for your good, right? And throughout this journey of meeting you, of reading your manuscript, of seeing you on this journey, having your friend build the website to do your marketing. I mean, you're just on it. You're just on the energy. You're on it. You have this talk, and then you have another podcast you're doing, and another podcast you're doing, and all of the stuff. This is one of my great, she's like my sister. And this is what she says. Congratulations, Caroline. We'll definitely get a copy of your book once it's published. You're an amazing young lady, right? And she has beautiful daughters that are kind of like right in your age group as well. And she's a very, very good friend of mine. And she would love this book too, because
Yeah.
of her own experiences that she has had to live through.
Yeah.
We're both from the island of Jamaica, so we kind of know what trauma is, right? Especially coming
Yeah.
from countries, right? These third world countries, right? And
Yeah.
so that's why I think I resonate so much with the story, because the story could be my story. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? And so I just love everything about you. I love your courage. I love your compassion. I love your strength. I love your power. And I also love your humility. Like it's this all these combination in one, that makes up who you are. And for you to do the interview with me, the consultation with me, and said I'm ready, like you didn't stop. You just I'm in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, 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 let me think about it. 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks. You were just in, and I love that about you. What last words can you leave for the audience before I ask you that question? I have one more question before that last question,
Okay.
right? If someone is listening today to
Mhm.
you and they're struggling or ashamed or afraid of sharing something that they may have gone through that's traumatic, either because they don't want the person who do whatever to them to know, or they're afraid of what people will say about what they experience, what would you tell them?
Um, I get it. It's
Yeah.
scary. And when you open yourself up, like I will be the first to say it's hard. It's so hard. And people do talk. But I have seen more positive changes since I started speaking than where I was before. And
Yeah.
as as I've lived my life pretty much every way, just closing your eyes and stepping forward and not letting the fear of anyone else stop you. Because the more you do hard things, the less hard they become.
Yeah.
And that's just, that's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. And then my last question. What are the last words that you can leave for the audience? Just from a takeaway. Like, what's your last words?
I'm so excited for people to read it, and I'm so excited to hear more feedback, and to really see the impact that this book will make. So pre-orders are available on my website on carolinewienecke.com. And I'm so excited. Thank you to everyone that's already pre-ordered. We've had so many already. So I'm super thrilled about that.
Yeah.
But I just can't wait. So I hope you read and enjoy.
I love it. So I just posted the link to her pre-order. It's carolinewienecke.com, CAROLINE. It's just like her name on the screen, and it is .com. So go ahead and place your pre-orders, whether you're watching now or you're watching the replay. And what I want you to do, Caroline, is I'm going to send you a copy of this, and you can send it to your marketing person. He can cut it up, and he can have sound bites, or he can do shorts on YouTube so that this can, go all over the place, so that you can have the marketing piece of it behind this author spotlight. Well, thank you so much for gracing our platform. Thank you for the message. This book is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We will come back when it's getting closer to launch, and we'll talk more about the book. And I think at that point, maybe you will be able to read a quote or a verse or a paragraph or something from the book, so that people know exactly what we're talking about. We didn't want to give it away today. Today was really just to get to know Caroline, so that you will support her when it's time for her launch and when it's time for her paperback to come out. We are so excited that you came on with us today. Thank you for choosing Victorious You Press. We're so grateful that you gave us the opportunity to tell your story. And with that, we're going to say bye to everyone. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of the Author Spotlight. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.